let me describe a situation I see in almost every Fabric team. You have production notebooks, they move millions of rows and they power reports, they execute it from data pipelines every 2 minutes, and they have 0 unit tests. Amazing! And those 0 unit tests, it's not because people are lazy, but because everyone believes the same myth, that you can't unit test notebooks properly. Because Spark is global, mssparkutils is just something magical, nothing can be executed outside of the Fabric, and because of all of those reasons, team decides that, well, let's just deploy and pray that everything will work. Maybe let's deploy first to the test workspace and verify everything is good in there, and after you deploy to production workspace, run some close eye monitoring for the first 5 minutes and everything is good, then you declare as a victory and deployment is green. And in this video I'm going to show you that unit tests of Fabric notebooks without Spark and without Fabric itself and even without your repo structure is possible, and that it is not only possible but it is needed. It's not some sort of academic idea, it's basically the difference between when the data platform behaves like a hobby project or when it behaves like a real software and it is enterprise ready. So here what normally happens. I have this as a quick example, as a quick setup. I have a bronze lakehouse with a customer table with some data inside of it, and I want to move that stuff to silver layer. My idea to use it is to use a notebook that will run some transformations. So for example, it will filter out customers without, let's say, category, there is one in that list, and it will save to silver like a cleaned version of the data. The most common approach that you can take, and what you will usually do, is you start with data frame is spark.sql is select stuff from customers, then you can verify that everything is good. After that you shift enter to run it and go to the next cell, then you import, maybe prepare where you are going to save it, so you import the SMPy Fabric and get the lakehouse itself and the Fabric ID. And finally you do the transformation logic or the filtering out logic like this, and actually here I just save everything that I have in the data frame from the very beginning into the silver lakehouse, so no filtering even executed over here, just for example. So this is a typical notebook as I see it between different environment and different companies. When you try to move this notebook from Fabric to Git and try to run your unit tests, if you would like to try it, and maybe you would go and ask the AI agent even to write the pytest for you. It will say that, sure, we can do it, and for these customers to silver notebook, the test will look like this. So first we mock Spark and Fabric libraries. After that we define the class that will have all of the tests, additional mocking of Spark, of the lakehouse, of mssparkutils, so all of that is nice and good. But then we go to the actual test, and in the test itself that was written by the AI agent is that we arrange that we set up some mocks, even more, then we run the queries against the mock, and when that query is executed, we verify that the mock executed something good. Now, the biggest question that I have to this generated code is, well, and where is the notebook content itself, apart from the copy-pasted or copied query from the notebook? Well, it's nowhere. The notebook is not even loaded because there are some tricks and issues with the loading. First of all, when you try to load when you write the code like this, so even the very first cell, well, second cell, it will be, if you try to import it from Python file that is saved to Git, then that thing will be executed immediately, And the thing about Fabric is Spark is imported globally, it's globally available, and you don't even need to worry about this one. Next, as I said, that there is this import of SempI Fabric, and this one is, once again, you need to mock the import as well. So there are some questions how to properly solve this issue. So when you look at a notebook like that, it's really easy to imagine that it's not a Python program that you want to unit test, but instead it's just a script that is executed only once and then forgotten, so you don't need to write tests for your scripts. Moreover than that, if you go to the notebook content of the file, so under the Fabric, when you check in that into Git, you will have the Python content like that. So a lot of meta attributes, and then cells and cells and cells. So everything, as I said, is executed at the same time. What you need to do and how to fix it is you need to shift your mindset a little bit, and instead of trying to mock individual functions, you mock the whole runtime. That's the first thing. And the second thing is how you are writing your cells. Instead of writing them like this, so treat each cell as a function, you actually need to write those functions to be able to test the functions themselves individually. That's what I tried to do in the Fun Customers to Silva approach, and in here you can see it's pretty similar to, in terms of functionality, to what I had in my Customers to Silva notebook that I left only for demonstration purposes pretty much. But in here I import still something to be used later. Then in order to get the lakehouse itself, I wrapped that up into the function getSilva lakehouse, but here instead I still use the mssparkutils internally. And then to have a setup workspace ID, we get it from Fabric, so this one, get workspace ID. And next I had some business logic, the filtering of customers. As I said, that this one is actually filtering for categories that is not available, and the notebook still can be executed. And we can run all of those cells individually. So here we will just have a definition of the function created, but the function itself is not executed. And then here we have the filter function available. And to load the customers, we actually just, once again, it is wrapped in another function. So here I don't save it to Silva Lakehouse, but you get the idea. The last cell that I have here is a little bit tricky. So I have a magic condition if name is equal main. So that means that this thing is executed as script itself and not loaded as a module. This is important distinction and something that you need to have in your notebooks to be able to test them directly. Otherwise you can split your logic, so all of those loads and functions into a separate notebook, and then run a magic command, run my functions notebook to load all of the functions, and then execute this one as just load customers directly. That will work, but then this specific notebook is not unit tested, technically speaking, and it's still like a slightly, well, how to say it, it's like a small hole in a small gap in your thinking. Well, not necessarily a bad thing, it's definitely better than nothing, but my preference is to have unit tests for the actual functions still. So in your data pipelines, or when you execute the notebook from UI, it will be executed as main, while as in unit test what we have, and here we jump to the Visual Studio Code yet again, we have a couple of things. First of all, I added testutils that will have ability to load those notebooks from anywhere. And how it is done is that we are using the import lib package from Python 3 that will load specs from specific location. So I'm passing the path to the file to load. So it loads it as from the file specified by the file location and not as a package. So that is a big thing, because you don't need to wrap your notebooks as packages in Python world. Additionally, we have a runtime mocked over here as a parameter. So it is a dictionary that we pass in with all of our mocks for the Fabric runtime. How it is set up? It is part of the conf test, so the configuration test configuration for pytest. And here we have a single fixture in this file that will first of all mock all of the module loads, including the SampPy and SampPy Fabric. And on top of that, we will have a mock for the Spark, we will have a mock for SparkUtils, and additionally for the dbutils. So those three are the most commonly used ones, but you can expand this fixture as you need when you need. And then the actual file is pretty simple and pretty small. I am testing only the single function over here just for the demo purposes, and the function is to get Silver Lakehouse. And first I define what is a notebook path. So it is under Fabric, fun customers to Silver notebook and notebook content. And after that we import the notebook content passing by the Fabric runtime fixture. So all of the mocks are available from here. And after that, the last bit, we act. So we run from the notebook, which is imported from file, the get Silver Lakehouse function. And as a assert, we verify that the result of this function, it is something that is returned by the mock. So this test Lakehouse ID is returned from my mock. So Lakehouse get return value ID is test Lakehouse ID. And additionally, that the mssparkutils is called once with Lakehouse Silver as an argument. So if we will go to the function where it is get Silver Lakehouse, we pass in this hard-coded value, and we want to verify that we are indeed trying to load the Silver Lakehouse and nothing else. Now, if we run the tests, pytest testpy, everything should be green. And if we make some changes, so for example Lakehouse gold, if there would be such thing, and agent now annoys me all the time, and if we run that, we will get the error that actually we tried to load the Lakehouse Silver instead of Lakehouse gold. So with this we can add this pytest code into our pipeline and be relatively certain that if you have unit test for your business logic, then it should stay as is. Cool. With that, I hope you will be able to reproduce the unit testing for your notebooks. And with my previous video, we were able to unit test the data pipelines themselves and the different stages of them. And with that, the Fabric itself as an ecosystem is unit testable end to end.